Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Drayko the Psychic here, and today I'm proud to announce the reveal of my new Evoker Archetype. This is a custom archetype I've been working on for a while. They've gone through a couple of changes recently, and I just changed their effects. Gave them a bit of testing, and the only people I was only able to go against was some rando on Dueling Book. Remember, kids, customs are good if they're only done by the right people. So I have opened up a lot of tabs right here, and to showcase each and every single card in here. There should only be like 13, I believe. I believe there's 13 cards. If not, then there's 14. I didn't make 15 cards yet. So anyways, the deck has 6 main deck monsters, 2 spells and traps each, and 4 Xyz monsters. This is supposed to be a Adamancipator-like Xyz counterparts to Adamancipator's Excavate and Synchro Summon like crazy. So anyways, we're just going through these. If you're wondering what these are, this is just basically a failed version of it. I try to make like a slower version of Evokers. Like, they try to bring these things out when their seal counters are removed, but it's very, very slow, and the counter removal is just not that great. So we're just going to ignore that archetype and focus on this one. So with that being said, let's get right into this. So first up, I need to introduce the fact that there are 2 types of effects that these monsters have. The first 3 that are water, wind, and fire have normal effects based on that focuses around the excavation of 4 cards, and well, except kind of 1. And the other monsters, the Earth, Light, and Dark, have effects that pay 1,000 and excavate 4 to attempt to summon 2 monsters, adding to the Xyz spam deck. So right here we got Leone, the Empress Evoker. Now this is another one of those. It's based off the major arcana of the tarot cards. Ooh, you prophecy copycat. Anyways, this one is a level 4 psychic effect monster with 1400 attack and 1700 defense, and each of them are different attributes. So this one is water. And if you're wondering why are they in a rush duel format of a style, here's the thing. When I make custom cards, I really like the rush duel template more than the original template. Okay, so just stop putting down hate comments down below and just accept the fact that I want to do what I like to do, and if you don't like it, then F off. Okay. So right here we got this one, Leone. As I was saying, the stats are right there. If this card is normal or special summon, you can excavate the top 4 cards of your deck. Then you can add 1 excavated Evoker, spell, or trap to your hand, then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Evoker, spell, or trap in your graveyard, added to your hand. You can only use 1 Leone, the Empress Evoker effect per turn, and only once that turn. So after a bit of testing, I don't think that the once per turn and only once that turn effect really needs to be here, because all the others don't really have that restriction as well. I just thought maybe like if this deck was going to be very, very turbo, then this might need that restriction to maintain card advantage in 1 turn. However, it wasn't the case during testing because we're not sending a bunch of spells and traps to the graveyard anyway, so that might be taken out, that might be subject to change, we don't know. Anyways, we're gonna move on to the next. So this one, this one right here is just basically a spell or trap searcher. Technically, you just gotta excavate 1. It's that easy. It's just only 4 cards. Anyways, if you're also wondering about the artworks right here, where did I get them from? I actually photoshopped these. References I've been using is the background right here is from Grazar. The renders you see right here are from Grand Blue Fantasy that are part of the Arcanium Evokers, and the symbol that you see back here, that's just from that's just like a school crest from a random Danganronpa fanfiction I found, and I have like 16 of those crests, and I can't wait to use them all because crest just helps fit our cards in an archetype better, if that makes any sense. Anyways, moving on, we got Kodahan, the Emperor Evoker. So if this card is normal, this one's a level 4 psychic wind effect monster with 1200 attack and 600 defense. From now on, I'm just going to say attribute and attack and defense because they're all level 4 psychics. If this card is normal or special summon, you can excavate the top 4 cards of your deck. Then you can add 1 excavated evoker monster to your hand, except Codon the Codon. I don't know how to say this. I just got some random names off of a fantasy name generator. Except Codon the Emperor Evoker, then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. You can banish this card from your graveyard. During the end phase of this turn, add 1 Evoker monster except Codon the Emperor Evoker from your graveyard to your hand. You can only use each effect of Codon once per turn. Kind of a little typo right here where the T and the is not capitalized like it is in the name. My fault right there. I should have prepared more. Anyways, this one's kind of like Leone, except this one searches your monsters, except itself, obviously. Because imagine Codon searching Codon. Actually, I don't know if that would be a good thing, if it would be a good thing or not, because like I said, after some testing, the deck doesn't really go turbo as I thought it would, but it's still really fun. It can still put out some Xyz monsters. All it just needs now is to be combined with some other Xyz spam engine, like probably Automatas or Time Thief. Next up, we got Zovir, the Hierophant Evoker. So this one has 1900 attack and 0 defense and is fire. This card is normal or special summon. You can special summon 1 evoker monster from your hand except Zovir, the Hierophant Evoker. And if you do, you can choose 1 evoker card from your deck and place it on the top of your deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard and target one of your other evoker monsters added to your hand. You can only use each effect of Zovir, the Hierophant Evoker, once per turn. This one's basically the Gollenberg of your deck, except with this time, if you do happen to summon one of your evokers from the hand, you get to basically stack your deck for 1 card. So that way, if you like summon Codon or Leone with this card's effect, then when this card resolves, you can stack your deck, and then Leone or Codon, whatever you summon, can excavate, and you are guaranteed a card. So this basically just means that your next excavation is free. It's free real estate. Anyways, now we're getting into the other part of the deck. This is the one where they activate in the hand. So this is Tauran, the Fool Evoker. It's a level 4 Earth psychic monster with 1500 attack and defense both ways. So this is how they operate right here. If this card is in your hand, you can pay 1000 life points, then target 1 evoker monster in your graveyard except Tauran the Fool Evoker. Excavate the top 4 cards of your deck. Then if you excavated an evoker monster, you can special summon both this card and that target. Quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Arcanium Xyz monster you control. Until the end phase, it gains 1000 attack and defense. Also, your opponent must target it for attacks. You can only use 1 Tauran of the Fool Evoker effect per turn, and only once that turn. So this is, I think right here they all have this once per turn. Oh no, Tauran is apparently one of those. I forgot that I was gonna do like a. I thought I was doing like a once per turn and only once that turn restriction, but I guess I'm not because I'm dumb. Anyways, this one basically revives an evoker from the graveyard if you don't happen to whiff like most Adamant Spear decks do. Overall, I just really hope that this deck does come out solid against other people in the Discord server. Which, speaking of the Discord server, I'm in a Discord server that is about to host another tournament on Saturday at the time of this recording. So, if you want to join, get your cards looked at, or you just want to learn how to create custom cards for your own, or just need some opinions, come join the Discord right here. I am actually a judge for this server, so congrats to me, and we'll probably see you there. Alright, let's get back to the video. Alright, shameless plug aside, we now got Gynza, the Star Evoker. This is a light psychic monster with 2000 attack and again 0 defense. Should I just make every monster have 0 defense? Lol. So, if this card is in your hand, you can pay 1000 life points, excavate the top 4 cards of your deck. Then, if you excavated an evoker monster, except Gynza, the Star Evoker, You can special summon both this card and one of those excavated evoker monsters in defense position, then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. You can banish this card from your graveyard and then target 5 of your evoker cards that are banished or in your graveyard, except Gynza, the Star Evoker. Shuffle those targets into your deck, and if you shuffled all 5, draw 2 cards, then place 1 card from your hand onto the top of the deck. You can only use each effect of Gynza once per turn. So anyways, Gynza right here just basically says you can summon from your deck if you don't happen to have the Adamantipator shit luck that they have. And that's just really, really good. I think this is one of the more of the another one of these play starters that you could potentially have in your deck. And this one's kind of generic now that I think about it. So you could probably see some of these cards be used in some other Xyz spam decks, like I mentioned before. And this one right here would just take the cake because, you know, you could probably stack your deck with like one of the spells that we'll get into later, and then your next excavation is once again for free real estate. And the last monster we have right there for the main deck is Shi, the Death Evoker. So if this card is in your hand, you can pay 1,000 life points. Sorry, something just came up. I had to like cut the video because I was needed elsewhere for a little bit. And we're back. Also, I'm still yawning. I don't know why I yawn during my videos. It's just a weird thing. Anyways, back to Shi. If this card is in your hand, you can pay 1,000 life points, then target one of your banished evoker monsters, except Shi, the Death Evoker. Excavate the top 4 cards of your deck. Then if you excavated an evoker monster, special summon both this card and that target, then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. You can banish this card from your graveyard, send 1 evoker monster from your deck to your graveyard except Shi, the Death Evoker. You can only use each effect of Shi, the Death Evoker once per turn. Oh my gosh, guess what guys, I made an OnlyFans mistake. It did not spell only correctly. There we go. Are y'all happy now? Anyways, this one right here basically does the same as Gynza and Tauran, except it targets one of your banished evoker monsters. So this is more like a toolbox engine, if anything. And you can also banish this card just to send another evoker to the graveyard, so you can get effects off like Leone, Codon, and possibly a Tauran for interruption. And if you want recycling, you can send Gynza as well. So all in all, this one's kind of solid, not gonna lie. You can just banish Codon because you would be guaranteed to put a monster in the graveyard at least. And then you can do Shi's effect to bring back the Codon, or maybe you can save it for next turn. Anyways, alright, so now we got the Arcanium Xyz monsters. This one right here, what they all do is that they do a little bit more of toolboxing right here. 1 summons from graveyard, 1 adds from graveyard, 1 stacks, and 1 is very oppressive, and we'll get to that in just a second. So this one right here is the Arcanium of Justice Valkyrie. Now, you could probably play this in a Valkyrie deck, lol. Anyways, this is a rank 4 fairy water Xyz monster with 2300 attack and 1400 defense. So it requires 2 level 4 monsters, including a psychic monster. You can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 level 4 or lower psychic monster in your graveyard, special summon it, then you can special summon 1 monster with the same name from your hand. During your opponent's turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, and a monster with the same attribute was excavated, negate the activation. You can only use each effect once per turn. I just hit my chair on the mic. So, a little quick change right here. This is supposed to be a quick effect, now that I look at it. Give me just a second, making some quick preparations for the next video. And then you just go right here, and then you just... There. Now I did not mess up the promise on card text. Ha, y'all can't sue me now. Anyways, this one is another solid extender. This is kind of like a Bujinki Hashima, where it like summons 2 level 4s from your hand and graveyard, or actually just 2 monsters with the same level. But this one instead just summons 1 from graveyard, and then it summons a copy of it from your hand. So, which is pretty interesting. And this one is also monster negate if you happen to excavate a monster with the same attributes. But this doesn't mean that you have to excavate an evoker monster. No, you actually have to excavate a monster with the same attributes. Any monster, really. So, a little gimmicky negate, but it is what it is. Next up, we got the Arcanium of the Sunkindra. So it's a level 4, or no, not level, rank 4 Pyro Fire Exceeds monster with 2500 attack and 200 defense. And it just requires any 2 level 4s. You can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 Evoker card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, then you can banish card or cards from your opponent's graveyard with the same card type of 1 each, monster, spell, or trap of the same type as the excavated evoker monsters, then place the rest on the bottom of the deck, should be in any order. Yeah, like I said, this is yet to go through Problem Solving Card Text confirmation, so like I said, these cards are subjected to change, but kind of like gives you the idea of what these cards do. So this one basically is a recycler. You can grab back any of your spells or traps or your monsters that you need, and not only that, you can quick effect banish up to like potentially up to 3 cards from your opponent's graveyard. So, just in case they try to do graveyard interaction, you can get rid of the cards that they're about to interact with. So, this is more like a DD Crow of the deck, which is honestly pretty nice, but sometimes I just use it to overlay for Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. Next up, we got the Arcanium of the Thehane Fates Karok. This is a rank 4 Worm Earth monster with 2000 attack and defense. It requires 2 level 4 monsters. You can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 Evoker card in your graveyard, place it on the top of your deck. During your opponent's turn, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, and there is an Evoker spell or trap among those cards, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. You can only use each effect of Karok once per turn. This one right here, apparently I did not put another quick effect on it. Oh no, but no one really told me that I didn't put a quick effect in it. So, like I said, these are going to go through Problem Solving Card Text fixing. This is just like a beta version. No, this is just an alpha version. This is version 2.0.1 of Evokers. So basically this one just negates spells and traps, which is really, really nice, and it's also very optimal to use some of the time, so that way, because it can guarantee you an excavation being successful for your evoker cards, or your Arcanium Exceeds monsters. We'll get into the last one right now, which is probably the most oppressive one of all, the Arcanium of Judgment Cat Brass. It's a rank 4 Wind Beast Exceeds with 500 attack and 2700 defense, and it requires 2 level 4 Evoker monsters, so it's not generic. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, then you can send 1 face-up card your opponent controls with the same card type, monster, spell, or trap as one of those excavated Evoker cards, then place the excavated cards on the bottom of the deck. If this card is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can special summon 1 Evoker monster from your deck. You can only use each effect once per turn. So, this one right here, like I said, is the most oppressive. If you're able to excavate 3 Evoker monsters, 1 spell, 1 trap, and 1 monster, you're potentially able to send up to 3 face-up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. This does not target, this does not destroy, this is just basically one of their ways of removal. And it's the best removal of all. It's basically like a quick effect ding once you think about it. Is it powerful? Yes, because probably may want to lower the defense a little bit, but then again, it can float into an Evoker monster if it happens to get destroyed. So there's that. But just remember that you do need to excavate Evoker cards, not just any card. So, and this one, I also need to mention that the that the Arcanium Xyz monsters actually only excavate 3 instead of the 4. Originally, the Evokers did excavate 3, but I upgraded it to 4 just so they don't whiff easily. So there's that. There's basically their boss monster right here. But honestly, if you want a boss monster, just play AA Zeus over Kindra. Anyways, let's move on to the spells. Alright, you've probably been seeing this one a lot of times because I kept on trying to switch tabs, but it's just not going off for me pretty well. But here we go. The beginning of the Evokers Journey. This is a normal spell card, and basically what it does is that you excavate the top 4 cards of your deck, then you can choose one excavated Evoker monster among them, and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard, then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Arcanium Xyz monster you control. Until the end of your opponent's turn, it cannot be targeted by their cards and effects. You can only use each effect. You can only use one effect per turn and only once that turn. Jeez, I am so bad at problem solving card text. Y'all will not believe it. Like, I've been doing this for just a long time, and I'm still pretty rusty on this problem solving card text crap. We're just putting Evoker. First thing I want to fix off right here with y'all is that Evoker monster, because if I were to just leave it at Evoker, then that means I have to add specifically a card that's named Evoker, and then you can only use one effect. Actually, it's just one. Oh yeah, I just happened to miss the. I just happened to miss the one right there. So yep, this is just basically like your little rota of the deck if you happen to not whiff. And also it gives your Arcanium Xyz monsters protection from being targeted by card effects, which is kind of vital actually. Alongside with the fact that you got an oppressive boss monster in the form of a 500 beat stick. So there's that. Also, as you can see, the renders right here for the cards, those are basically like the Judgment card that you see in Capbrass and the Sun that you see in Kindra. So a little connection to each other, and a little bit of a perspective problem with the crests right here, but I tried. Also, these renders are basically the monsters in the main deck, except they have their hoodies on because they're edgy. I don't know. Next up, we got Evoker Connection. I hope I did not screw this one up. It's a quick play spell, and you take up to 3 Evoker cards with different names from your deck and place them on the top of your deck in any order. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Evoker monster that is banished, place it on the top of your deck. You can only use one Evoker Connection effect per turn and only once that turn. Hooray, I didn't screw it up. So this one basically just screams free real estate, because this one literally guarantees you a free excavation. And not only that, I've actually used this card multiple times outside of needing an excavation. I've actually used this just to stack my deck just in case I happen to brick. And I was like playing ghost second cards anyway, so back then. But I don't know how I'm going to be able to stack my deck and protect myself for one whole term from being OTK'd, and being sure that my next draw will hopefully get me out of the mess. And also, the second card that's underneath the card I drew is going to be the one that guaranteed my excavation that was free. All in all, this is a really, really good card. I think this is a 3 of in any Evoker deck that you play. Next up, we got Evoker Invoking Evocation. Try saying that 5 times fast. A little thing for not to look at invoking. I thought I'd just do that for no reason whatsoever. Anyways, this is the normal trap of the deck. Target 2 of your Evoker monsters, 1 each that is banished and 1 in your graveyard. Special summon those targets, but their effects are negated. Then immediately after this effect resolves, Xyz summon 1 Arcanium Xyz monster, using those 2 monsters as material. During the main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 of your Evoker monsters that is banished or in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use 1 effect per turn and only once that turn. This is basically kind of like a Ritual Beast ambush, if you will. You get to summon 2 from your bench and graveyard. Except this one basically auto-exceed summons for you. And not only that, if it's in the graveyard next turn, you can just banish it and bring back an Evoker monster, which is honestly pretty nice. So let's get on to the last card, which is Evokers Grasp. This one has Tauran with the Hanged Fates Karok in this artwork. I kind of like this render right here. It just looks so awesome. I just like how Tauran looks almost like this guy in the almost looks like Karok. Anyways, if you want to know their names, this one was actually Kame, and yeah, they didn't really have interesting names, so I just went to a D&D name generator. So, it's a continuous trap. Arcanium exceeds monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's cards and effects. Once per turn, if you excavate a card or cards by the effect of an Evoker monster or an Arcanium exceeds monster, you can excavate an additional 2 cards for that effect. Once per opponent's turn, you can target one of your Evoker spells or traps that is banished or in your graveyard, except Evokers Grasp, place it on the bottom of the deck. So, I really did not know what I was doing here. I was like running out of ideas for what to do with this one, so I just decided to give it like a you excavate 2 more cards and there's more protection for the Xyz monsters, like they needed one. All in all, I think it's okay. You should probably run this for recursion in the late game, because this deck can go into grind games a lot. Last time I checked. Yeah. Anyways, and the ability, I would have said top of deck, but that would mean that you would possibly draw the next card. You could stack Journey, and then you'll just grab Journey, and then Journey is going to do that. Or you could do Connection, and then Connection is going to give you free draws. Anyways, so yep. Anyways, drink wine or take a sip of wine every time I say anyways. Anyways, here's a little sample deck list I came up with. It's just a 43 card deck. This is just by itself. I've also tried a invoked version of it. Let me see it. Maybe. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Was it this one? No, this is just for people. Okay, maybe it was this deck that had the invoked version of it, but no. I tried doing an invoked version of it. People said I should try it too, and to be honest, they're all kind of bricky. The only 2 card combo you could possibly do in this deck is like Alistair and Leone. Back then, Leone's effect was like, if it's in your hand, you can excavate the top 3, and if you excavated a Evoker monster, you special summon both this and that monster, and then you immediately Xyz summon. That was possibly the only 2 card combo that you could do. Right there, you could make Cat Brass and Mechaba with that build if you happen to hit a light. So that's it for the Evoker analysis. If y'all want to see replays or live duels right here, please say that in the comment section below that you want live duels. Yeah, I could probably do live duels for you when I'm not busy. Anyways, that's the end of this video. I really hope you liked this analysis video. If you did, please hit that like button, comment down below what you'd like to see next, and please hit the subscribe button. We are actually getting very close to 200 subs. And can y'all believe it? Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.